Hey, our residents of Meepletown. Today we are pirates.
I don't even want to hold the box up at this point.
Are we pirates?
Yes.
Sailing the Caribbean, trying to get the most points in Maracaibo, because that's what pirates do. They try to get the most points. Let's get to the table and check out Maracaibo.
All right, Meepletown, we have Maracaibo set up and we are ready to play. You ready to go, Deanie?
Arr.
Is that what you're going to say every single time I ask
What
a
else
question
do
this
pirates
time?
say? I don't know.
I have pirate jokes ready to roll, but I think you're already ruining them for me. You ruined them for me. Okay, anywho, just a couple
What's
things.
a pirate's favorite letter? Is that one of them? Is that?
It's not R. It's something else.
It's always been the C.
Yes. Dang it.
Nailed it.
I couldn't remember it off the top of my head, but I knew it was not the most obvious answer. All right, so a couple things we did before the game started. We were dealt a hand of 8 cards. With that hand of 8 cards, we discarded 3. We put 1 into our planning area here. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And we, yeah, that's it. We discarded 3 and put 1 in our planning area. We also were handed 2 of our, what's the name for it?
Like the objective cards? I don't know. I forgot what it's called.
It's your, now the people are going to be like, how can you review a game and you can't remember what it's called? It's your career. Thank you, John. Just sometimes things in my head. These are our career cards, so they're going to have to do with how many quests that we're fulfilling, how many synergy tokens we're getting, or there's just a bunch, there's just different ones. Let's see what Dean's got over there. He's going to try to go up the Explorer track. He's going to try to get ship upgrades. And what's going to happen is we're going to get victory points. We're going to get doubloons based off of these objectives, and we're going to get more assistance based off those objectives, more workers based off those objectives as the game progresses. Now, kind of like we always do, I say we're just going to dive in, start playing it, teach it as we go along, and then we'll give you our thoughts on the game. So, it's actually fairly simple, the way that the turn structure works, but the cards can get a little complicated sometimes in a good way. It's really neat. So, what I'm going to do first is we're both starting here in Havana, and we're going to sail 1 to 7 spots. We do have to go forward. We can choose whenever it splits on the board here which direction we want to go, but we're going to go 1 to 7 spots, and we're either going to stop at a city, which are these big circles that have these markers right here, or we're going to stop at a village, or the small circles are called villages, and we'll do different actions based on those. So the first thing I'm going to do, I think I'm actually going to go ahead and I think I'm going to stop here real quick on Santiago. What I'm going to do here, the first thing I can do is I can deliver one of these goods. But I can also perform this action whether I deliver a good or not. And I can only deliver a good if the space is open, which I'm the first player, so the space is open. Dean did start off with an extra doubloon. I got 8 and he got 9. All right, so I'm going to deliver a good, which means I'm going to have to get rid of a card that has that symbol on here. So I'm going to get rid of this quest hunter that has the symbol here. And that's going to the discard pile. And then I'm going to take one of these markers off my player board, which is going to help me get things unlocked as the game progresses. I really want to get to 6 cards quick, so I am going to do that because right now our hand limit is 4. I'm going to place that there. Then I'm going to get to take this action here in Santiago, which means I'm going to get another worker. So I've got 3 workers now. And I'm going to get to perform a 1 village action. So the village actions are pretty straightforward. Unless we unlock more village actions like here over here on this part of the board and right here, I'm either going to take a doubloon, or I'm going to buy a card that's in my hand or my planning area, or I'm going to discard every card in my hand to take 2 doubloons. So this planning area, I'll briefly say, when we put a card here, we cannot move it unless we purchase that card. So this is an area to get some cards out of your hand, but I guess potentially could be risky because you could just get stuck with the card if you ended up not wanting to purchase that card. All right. So for my 1 action, I am actually just going to, no. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and buy a card, put it into my tableau. I'm going to buy this Explorer card, which costs 7 doubloons, which is almost all of my doubloons. And what this does is I'm going to now take this little saw and axe synergy token, which will be able to unlock some things as the game progresses. For example, if I had the quest hunter in my tableau, which it's not, it's in my planning area, if I had that symbol, the anchor synergy token, then I would get to move up 2 on this doubloon track right here. Anyway, so I'm going to get this token, and then now I'm going to put out one of my assistants, well, workers becoming an assistant, onto spot number 9. And now that I'm going to put it on the side here. Now when I go there, instead of doing one of the 3 village actions that I shared with you, which was again just getting a doubloon or discarding all my cards and getting 2, or buying a card, now I can use this assistant action, which is going to give me 2 doubloons and 3 spaces on the Explorer track right here.
Yeah.
So I like that. Now, because of the tightness of the camera, I normally wouldn't put it in this area because I wouldn't want them to get confused with the planning cards, but that's what we're doing today. Dean's turn.
All right. So...
Wait, I didn't draw up. Sorry.
Oh,
I dropped to 4.
All right.
And I do need to mention, sorry, I do need to mention that when I draw, I can draw blindly or take one of these, or 2 of these, but for however many I take of these, I have to pay 1 doubloon. So go ahead, dude.
Oh, some good ones out there too. All right, so I will take a very similar, actually, funny enough, I was going to take almost the exact same route that John did, but I've changed it up a little bit. So I'm going to move to the same spot that John did. I'm also going to do... to discard a card, so I'm going to remove my, let's see, I'm going to get rid of my Explorer card. That's the one that John actually just took, placed into his tableau, but I'm going to get rid of mine so that I can place a disc out here. I'm going to go a different route than what John did. I'm going to actually try to get a 5 doubloon boost right off the bat so that I can have some money coming in. And
some liquid cash, baby.
Liquid cash. So I did that. Now I will be able to take 1 village action and put my, not put my worker out, gain a worker. So I'm going to gain a worker. Now what I'm going to do is pay for my village action.
You're getting one out also, huh?
I'm also going to put a card out into my tableau. Now this one is... It's going to cost me 6 doubloons. At the end of the game, it's going to be worth 3 victory points. But what it means is that all cards cost 1 doubloon less, which is one that you want to try to get out early in the game, especially if you're going to get a lot of cards out. So that'll help me have a little bit of a boost.
It should pay for itself.
Hopefully. We'll see how
And you get the victory points. So.
That's right. So not right now, but I will get those at the end of the game.
That's correct.
All right, so I'm also going to draw back up. I'm going to draw blindly. There's a couple out there that I really want, but I don't want to spend the money. Yeah. I do not, yeah.
Yeah. It can be kind of tight, especially early here in the game.
That's right.
All right, so I'm actually going to sell 1, 2, 3 spots here. I'm going to discard a card I just got because I won't be able to play it for a while, and I don't think it's worth me keeping at the moment. I'm going to discard that because it has the corn symbol, which is going to match right here. And I want to go ahead and do that so that I can unlock this ability. So now I can have 6 cards. I'm going to drop to 6 cards in my hand. It also is going to block Dean. If Dean goes to this spot, he can still come to this spot. He can actually put his ship even on the same spot. However, he cannot deliver goods because I blocked that. But this is going to get me 2 on this track here, on the Explorer track. So all I'm going to do is go up 2, which means I get 2 victory points. And I take the massive lead.
Game over.
But I'm going to go this track because I've got this Explorer card here, and I guess I'm going to try to go up this Explorer track as much as I can and get some points.
Here we go.
Monies, all kinds of stuff. All right, so now I get to draw up to 6. And I'm just going to blindly draw again.
All right. That would be my turn then, correct?
There's nobody else playing.
All right. Okay, I'm going to go a different direction than John. I'm going to go 1, 2 spots here over to Santo Domingo. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Did I say that?
I think so.
And then I'm going to discard a corn card, one with the corn symbol, to be able to put my disc out. And that already opens up a spot for me as well. No, John already has that. But for me, it's a little bit different. So I'm going to take 5 doubloons. And then after I take that, what's going to happen is I'm going to be able to move up on my fighting track there. And then I can remove another disc. And I think what I would like to do is be able to take more village actions as I go on. So I'm just going to remove that, and that means now when I take, after I remove another one, if I go 2 spaces, I'll get to take 2 village actions instead of the normal 1, which hopefully down the road that will help me quite a bit. And I'm getting more disc out, which helps me with my career card over there. Last thing I'm going to do is draw back up a card, and it's your turn.
So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go 4 spots. And I didn't mention earlier, the amount of village actions that you're able to take is based on how many steps you've gone. So if you go 1 to 4 steps here, if you go, 1 or 3 steps, you get 1 village action. If you go 4 plus, then you get 2 village actions. If you go 7, then you're going to get, or more, you get 3 village actions. But I'm actually just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and instead of doing the 2 village actions that I could get for moving 4 spaces, I'm going to do this explore action, which means I'm going to get 2 doubloons. Can you hand me 2 doubloons, please? And then I'm going to get to go 3 on the explore track. So I've got my 2 doubloons, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, which means a couple things. One is I'm going to get to go on this up on my combat track to 2, and you'll see a little bit about that here in a bit. It also means I crossed this red barrier, which means I get to go 3 influence with any of these. And right now it's kind of a crapshoot. We don't really have.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think any of my cards would actually be affected by. So I am going to go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by his toe. If it hollers, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Blue. All right, that's it. So I'm going to actually go 3 with this 1 nation, which this at the end of the game is I'm already into the 2 multiplier, but I don't have any cubes off, so you'll see what that is here in a bit.
All right, now here's where I'm struggling. I knew my first 2 moves. I had an idea of what I was going to do, but now there are a lot of these different things that I would like to do, and I would like to do some of those before John does, but I think what I'm going to do is kind of set myself up for my next turn. So I'm just going to go 1, 2 spaces over here to St. Kitts. Now there's nothing there. I'm going to take a village action while I'm in that spot. Actually, excuse me, I'm going to take, just 1 village action. That's all I can take right now. So I will take the...
Unless you go more spots to take more village actions.
Well, this is how I'm going to set myself up for my next turn. So
I'm just trying to convince you to make a unoptimal move.
I'm going to spend $7. I'm going to place a card into my tableau. This is going to be...
you got 7
the
balloons again?
Builder.
You did the 5.
So I did the 5 off the bat.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I think that's still on camera. So I'll put the ship builder out there. What I'm going to do is take my assistant and put him out on the 10 spot. And that way, the reason why I stopped short is so that I could end up in that spot for my next turn to take the shipbuilder's action. Again, they cost me 7 because I have the master builder, so every card that I put out there costs 1 less, and that's going to be my entire turn after I draw one more card.
And you get the synergy token. Don't forget to take that.
Oh, that's right. I took the synergy token from playing that card in place. Thank you for that.
So as he does... Okay. I'm going to go 2 to Maracaibo. I'm going to deliver the sugar, or whatever, I think this is cane. Sugar?
So I always think it's like a shirt.
A shirt.
Maybe a dress.
Well, I'm going to deliver that. I've got to get some, there's some other things I would like to do, but I've got to get some more money, so I'm going to do what Dean did. I'm going to deliver that good, but I still have to have 1 more to unlock it. Now we're going to do combat. So in order for you to see what combat is, what I'm going to do is take one of these, I'm going to flip it over. I will take a picture of this so that folks can see this a little bit closer. But I'm going to have 3 of these nations here. And so whether I go with France, England, or Spain, that is going to tell me how many combat points I have. So if I go with blue, which is probably what I'm going to do, France, because I already have 3 influence here with France. Now, this little thing up top means that if there's more French markers than any other cubes, any more other blue cubes, if there are more blue cubes than any other color cube on the board, I'm actually going to lose 2 combat points. So it would actually only be a value of 2. If I take Britain, England down here, I would actually have to pay a doubloon to do that, is what that symbol means. If I take Spain in the middle, I would actually get an influence with Spain. But I want to go blue here. So I'm going to get 4 combat value points. Now I'm going to get to do an action based on those. I'm going to go ahead and I could spend some of these combat points to be able to do more actions. I can also give away any number of workers to gain more value in that. So I could give up both of these and these 2 and take 2 actions that are... I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to do this one for 4 right now, which what that says is I'm going to remove 1 blue cube because I'm working with Spain. This cost me 4. I'm going to put it anywhere here on the board. And so right now I'm going to put it... I'm not anywhere on the board, excuse me. I'm putting it on a red flag. So I'm going to put it right here, which is going to be really, really nice. This is going to be a multiplier. I'll explain that here in just a little bit. And then I'm going to get the bonus. Actually, I need to move up 1 more. I get 1 influence with that. And then I'm going to get the bonus for where I place that cube on the flag, which is 4 doubloons, which is really nice for me. So that was a dandy move for me. That felt good.
That's quite the move.
Then I'm going to take this and put it here because there may be some in-game scoring, some things with that.
All right, now I've still got some pretty tough decisions to make. I know what I want to do, and this is what I will do. Because I have this assistant there, my shipbuilder, I do want to stop there because it's just going to be, if I go there and take the shipbuilder's action, I'm going to be able to take 2 coins. I'll be able to remove another disc from my board, which is good because now I'm going to get the the bonus village actions, so I can take more actions for moving, for the movements that I make, which is really going to be helpful. And then I'll immediately be able to take 2 ship actions. Now here's the thing, I don't quite know what I want to do. I know that I don't have enough money to really do much. I think what I will do is...
I like the sound of that.
I get to take 2. I'm going to discard my hand.
Ah.
Let's see, yep.
Get those 2 doubloons.
On my hand, and get my 2 doubloons. And then I will...
I didn't flip this over. If you saw me doing something when Dean was playing his action, it was because I was buying a card with the doubloon to draw up.
And I'm really trying to set myself up for some extra money. So for my second village action, I will take just a coin. So I just basically got 3 additional coins besides the 2 that I got from the shipbuilder. Again, just trying to set myself up for my next turn, especially because I'll be able to start taking more village actions and potentially be able to put more cards into my tableau. So that's going to be my entire turn. Not great, but it sets me up for the future.
We're slow moving this one, huh?
That is very true.
Yeah. I'm going 1 space.
Yeah.
I'm going to give up both of these now. I have to have... I don't even know what that is. Do you, Dean? This green plant?
Herb?
Some kind of herb, probably. I'm going to have to give up 2 of those to fulfill this quest. And what this says is when I give up 2 of those, so those cards go into my discard pile, I'm going to get a victory point for however many compass symbols I have in my tableau. And I have none because this one in my planning area does not count. But I do have 1 on my player board. So everyone starts off with 1, so I gain 1 victory point for that. And I also gain 4 doubloons. So another 4 doubloons. All right, and then I will take this quest cube and it will go on my board. I will flip it face over and put it right there. When I get to this spot, I get 3 victory points. When I get to this spot, I can keep going and get 2. Yeah, as many quests as I fulfill.
All right, so I'm going to move up to another city. 1, 2. Ooh. Yeah, I'll go here. I'll go here and I will discard a, what is that one? I always think it's a bird. A bird?
It's not a bird.
I have different names for them than are actually in the game, but I'm discarding a bird card.
We should look that up, huh?
And I will put
That's
one
what
of
the
my...
professionals would do. Good thing we're not professionals.
Now I mentioned it kind of setting up my turn. John's getting away on this track, and I have to keep that in mind because you can get a ton of points from that influence track. So I always have to keep that in mind, but at the same time, I really am trying to set myself up in this first round for success in the future. So what I'm going to do, and part of that involves me getting rid of disc off of my board to get ship upgrades, which help me with my career. Also traveling around down here and getting quest tokens helps, but I'm not really in a place to do that yet. So I'll move down 2 on my track there, and I'll move up on one of these tracks. Now, right now, I just want to try to catch up with John as best I can, so I'm just going to move up 1 there, and then I'm going to get 6 doubloons.
That's quite a few.
Which is really nice.
Not bad. You done so?
After I draw 1 card, I don't think any of those... There are some of those that are really good.
This is the slowest play we've ever done.
I think that is very true. All right, so I'm going to pay a coin this time and take the chase, a doubloon. Sorry, a doubloon. Get the chase pirates because I've been eyeing this one for a while and it's going to go away at the end of the round. But this one is going to, if I can play it out, it's going to cost me 5 on my battle track.
Combat track.
Yeah, I always make up the names myself. And that'll give me a lot of doubloons on the track up there.
None of us have gone up on those influence tracks at all right now, which is probably not good, actually. Yeah. With all the moves that we've made. I'm going to go here, just 1 space. Nope, that's not my ship. I'm going to go 2 spaces here to fulfill this quest, which means I'm going to give up 1 of my combat points, which is why it's called a battle points, almost. Which is one of the reasons I didn't want to spend them earlier. It's going to get me 5 doubloons, so now I'm in the monies. I'm also going to get a victory point for however many compasses I have, which is just 1. And then once again, I'm going to take another quest tile. So There we go. Right now, there's going to be 2 options, by the way, on each of your career cards. So right now, if I wanted to, I could get this assistant or this worker, and I could get 2 doubloons. But then I could never fulfill this quest again. So I'm either going to get 2 and get 2 doubloons, or if I get 3 quests, I can fulfill it and get 2 victory points and 2 doubloons. Which I'm just waiting because I'm only 1 away.
All right,
I think. Unless I need the money. I can do that as a free action anytime, though, so at this moment I'm not going to.
Again, a tough decision that I have. I would like to go ahead and move up here and kind of end the round so that I can get just 3 points that John's going to get if I don't move up there. However, I do have some money to be able to get another card out. So, the problem is, which card do I want to get out? And that, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I want. Now, I think I do. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because if I move 5, that's going to give me 3 village actions that I can take because I have this ship upgrade unlocked there. So the first one I'm going to do is to get...
That's a lot of actions, buddy.
It is. I'm going to get my... Oh, boy. Wow. This pinnacle one would be nice. You can't see my cards. I'll show you right here. So this pinnacle card that I have is nice because it would help me to be able to move up on the track that's going to give me more income every round. However, it also gives me a victory point for each combat token. I have
and you have none
combat tokens.
You might want to save that one?
Yeah, so I think I will. So I think what I'll do is for my first action, I will pay 6 doubloons, because again, it's 1 less, to get my smuggler out there. Hopefully you can see that on camera. When I get the smuggler out there, I'm going to take my assistant and put that in the 7th spot, St. Kitts, and immediately I'll get to take this medal here. And I've already got 2 of those tokens, which is going to help me in the future. And then that's all it does for right now, but in the future, again, I'll be able to go in that spot and take that action. And then for my second 2 actions, I'm just going to keep loading up on money, I think. I'm going to take a risk. How about that? For an extra coin? No, I'll just take 1 coin and 2
You're
coins.
blocking this spot. I was going to put the assistant to the side there.
Sorry.
And by the way, if you do not use this, it actually shows it on your board here. If you do not use your assistant in a round, you gain 2 victory points. And since Dean's not going to be able to, he can go ahead and give himself a couple victies.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
You're wondering where that track is.
Sorry.
Like you've never played it before.
Got a lot going on in my mind because I've also need to throw a card up. Yep. There we go. So I am not so far behind now.
Okay, I am... Oh, man, there's so much to do here. Because I can go right here and fulfill yet another quest. And that would then give me... But I'm not. I'm not going to do that. Dean is going to go to that spot. He's going to have to stop. I'm not. Okay, I'm just going to go 1 so I can do 1 action, which is going to be to take this mercenary and put him into my tableau, which is going to cost me 6 doubloons. Then I'm going to take my assistant and put it on space number 18. And so when I go here next move, I'm going to be able to gain 1 influence and also get a medal. I'll get that in a second. 1 influence with a nation, and I can also do 2 village actions. So go ahead and get my medal. Kind of feel nice to get a medal, huh?
There you go, I guess.
Medal of Honor. That's what it is.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Participation medal. Way to go for participating in this game.
Oh, don't get me started on participation medals. I'm kidding.
My turn?
Yeah.
All right, so I will move up 1 spot, and you have a decision at the end. So you can either go to battle, or you can move up to 2 on the Explorer track. Now, here's the thing. I would really like to battle right now, but my battle track is down to 0 because I spent them to take this down here. So that kind of stinks. I could still go to battle even if I don't have anything, but I don't really want to take the risk of not being able to do that much. So I think what I'll do is move up on this track, and I'm only going to move 1 spot because I would like to take 3 more doubloons. Now, the object of the game so far for me has been to load up on doubloons, and I have done that pretty well. And that is going to be my entire turn, but now
that's it.
It's going to end the round after we
the next time.
Move up, right. After.
So I get one more because you have to stop, as Dean said, on the red hand. Did you say that?
I did.
Okay,
I thought I did. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. So, but next round he'll have to go. He'll get here and have to stop again, but he'll get 3 victory points. Now I could jump up here, and I'm tempted to do some of that. I could move forward on this track a little, but I'm not because I'm going to go to my assistant. Now my assistant allows me to get 1 influence with any nation, and also get 2 village actions. So I could go here and really start taking the advantage with blue. Which it's not a terrible idea, but I don't. Dean's kind of going up that track a little bit, or I could decide.
One spot.
I could decide to start. I'm going to do that. No, I'm just going to do that for now. I'm going to keep going up there. Now I get 2 village actions. So with my second village action, my first village action, I'm going to go ahead and take this quest hunter and put him into my tableau. Normally I would not place him here because this is planning area spots, but again, because of the camera, that's what I'm doing. 5, 6, 7. So now that I've got this quest hunter for 7, what it's going to do is I'm going to have, yet again, I've got another compass in my tableau. I do not have the anchor. When I get the anchor, so the cool thing about the synergy tokens is even if I don't have the anchor when I play the card, if I get it at a later time, I'm going to get that bonus. But I do get this bonus that says I get to go up 2 on the income track. And so at the beginning of next round, or yes, I'm going to get, or at the end of next round, I'm going to get 10 doubloons instead of just 8. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and get that out. Okay, that is my first action, but I have another one. I can do. And with that, I'm not, no, I kind of got to keep that one. I'm just going to grab a doubloon. 1 single doubloon. Doesn't sound super exciting, but
it doesn't. But in a game where doubloons are pretty important, getting 1 is better than getting none. How about that?
That's true. It's kind of like that with a lot of things.
All right, so that is the end of John's turn. I'm assuming you drew back up and all that. So
yeah.
I'll move over here, and I will take the lead, 2, 3, by taking those 3 victory points. And that will make me the victor.
It does not make you the victor. All right, so let's talk about a few things before we go into the art and components and all that. So at the end of this round, what we're both going to get the chance to do is we're both going to get the chance to buy a card. We can buy a card like I just did. So I could have waited. I could have done 2 village actions and got maybe like 2 doubloons. But I could also, if I don't buy a card, I'll get 2 victory points. So I'm doing that, Dean, which means I take the lead.
Ooh.
You see that?
Ouch.
But I will say this, we can also invest in these cards here, in these building cards. So I'll blow this up on screen, but what these do, they're expensive. They cost 20. We also have to place a worker on there, but they're going to give us in-game scoring. For example, this card is going to give us 2 victory points per quest that we fulfilled. So I'm actually doing pretty well in quests, so this is something that I may want to invest in. I also get 2 victory points for being the first person to go to this card. Anyone can go to this. We can have as many as, not as many, but each player can go to this card. I'm also going to get the crown if I go there. So anyway, just going to say that you can, anytime you're able to buy a card, you can choose to invest in that instead of buy a card for your tableau. Then we're going to actually go on these 2 tracks here, and I'm not going to do it because this is just the end of the round. I would get 10 doubloons, Dean would get 8 because of his place. We both get 0 victory points. So this is a victory point income tracker, and we're going to do this at the end of every round. There are 4 rounds. We're going to remove all these brown circles here. We're also going to get rid of these 4 and replace it with 4 new ones. Yeah, and we're going to look at the quest tile. So I can actually make mention of this really, really quickly here. With this quest tile, with this quest thing, because I completed the quest, I'm actually going to flip it over and read it. So I'll just not read it because I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
But it's going to do things... I don't know. There may be new things that come out on the board, new quests, do different things like that.
Add cards, there's a lot of different things.
This is going to tell me, I won't spoil the text, but it will tell me to read card 2. So there's going to be more things that are going to come out and stuff because of that. So you do not have to play with the story cards. I didn't read the story card because I didn't want to spoil that either. You don't have to play that. There's just variable setup that you can do, but it's kind of neat. So Dean.
All right.
I say, what do you think about the art and components? All right, so as we talk about the art and components, I failed to mention that symbol means I flip over the next one of these, which that is, 3 victory points per synergy token, which we both have a couple. That's 6 victories already sitting right there.
That's nice.
All right, man. What do you think about the art and components?
All right, I think the art and components are really great for this type of game. You know, there's a lot of cubes, a lot of a lot of cardboard tokens, meeples, what you would expect for a Euro game. But I really enjoy the card art. I enjoy the brightness of the board. For this style of game, for this theme of game, I think that it's really well done. I think it's great.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, these ships are really cool, right? I mean, they have the small workers, they have the bigger explorers. I mean, that's kind of neat.
Sure.
These could just be cubes. They look a little bit cooler than cubes. But I mean, nothing that's blowing my mind component-wise, but it's all nice. Now, I will say one thing that I don't love are these boards. Now, playing on a table like this is pretty good. But when I was playing at home on my kitchen table where it's a little slicker, with this board, it kind of slides in with these little bitty discs. I think I knocked those discs off at one point in time, even during this, if you all saw that. It's a minor quibble or whatever, but I don't love how small they are and how they don't lock together and how this can slide around just a little bit, but that's minor. Everything else is good. I like the art a decent amount. It's not the most amazing art I've ever seen in my life, but it's good, it's vibrant, I like it. Components are good quality.
Yeah, just real fast too. And the problem with the boards beyond,
see, look at that. You just proved the point.
There's not much you can do about that unless you had bigger disc. It's not like you can add this like dual layer board or an acrylic overlay or anything like that, because you have to stack those discs on top of each other. So that does become an issue. And I think
if they were indented or something, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
but whatever.
I think you would have to put them side by side instead of putting them like stacked on top of each other. You say minor, maybe that could be major. Especially if you have larger fingers. These are very small discs, and it'd be hard to pick them up and put them back where they need to go. So could be a major quibble. All right. Quibble. All right, so let's talk about the gameplay. I think the gameplay is a lot of fun. Now, if you watch our show, listen to our podcast, you know that I tend to be drawn to games that are thematic, and I don't necessarily like heavier games. John tends to like the heavier games. So for me, this is a game that is on the edge of heavy
right
for
on
me.
The edge, huh?
But it's good. But it's very good for me. I really like it, and I think it is brain burnery, but it's not like watching this video you might think, oh my goodness gracious, what am I looking at? There's a lot of spaces on the board, there's cards, multi-purpose cards, there's the different tokens that you're getting, and these boards, like there's a lot going on. But I feel like it makes sense because the symbology is done really well on the board. The actions just make sense. And one of the other things, you mentioned the cards and the story part, you don't have to play with that. When John first told me, hey, we're getting this game, we're going to get a review copy of this, I was kind of looking at some stuff, and I saw the story cards, and I was like, that seems pretty lame. I think that's not going to be a good thing. Even from a guy who really likes story, I just thought it would be something that's kind of tacked on. Yeah. I actually really enjoy those story cards. I think they're fantastic. I mean, for what they add, it's not like it adds a whole new game, but it adds new elements and it brings new life every time you come to the table to play this game, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like this game. Now, I'm an Alexander Pfister fan. I'm a big fan of Great Western Trail. I'm a big fan of I like Mombasa. I just can pretty much name every single one of his games. Oh my goods, and Expedition to New Del, which is a new game, and all that. He makes really, really great games. So I had really high expectations going into this, and it's a very, very good game. I like that there's a lot of things I like about it. I like these tracks here that you're constantly, so you've got your income track, so you kind of have your short-term goals as rounds progress of going, hey, I need to get those tracks so that I can get victory points at the end, so that I can get doubloons at the end of the round so that I can get more cards. But you also have your longer term goals like this influence track here, and I didn't mention how that scores, but I will really quickly. You're going to take the number of your multiplier. So if the game ended right now, I would take 3 times the number of cubes, number of spaces, the shields that are open. So that would be 1. Also, you're going to take whoever has the most influence out here, which is only 1, blue, they're going to get 2 more. So you're going to take 2 plus 1 times 3, so I would get 3 times 3, 9 points at the end. If that were the end of the game, Dean would get 3 points. He would get 1 times 3. So I like how you again have the short-term goals. You also have that long-term goals because you even saw us getting victory points there. Dean wanted to go ahead and grab 3 victory points. It's cool. You're kind of making those decisions like, do I need to get the points now? Should I wait till later? You're also going to get victory points at the end of the game per your the people in your tableau, which is, I think, really, really, really nice. So I think that's really, really fun. I'm also not a huge area control guy, but I like the area control with influence track because you didn't see it. But one of the things you can do during combat is you can actually displace a cube. So if you spend 6 combat points, Dean could remove this. If he wanted to go to another track, that would be off the board. And so then he could be going for for getting that extra 2 points at the end of the game for having the most of those out on the board. So I think it's really nice. But for me, my favorite part of the game is just the card play.
Yeah. Yeah.
The card play of getting the assistants out on the board to get more actions kind of has the Great Western Trail feel where you're putting the buildings out on the board to then get those actions. But here there's just a lot of choices for which ones you're going to have out on the board. Of course, there is in Great Western Trail as well. But anyway, so I like that about it. But I also like how you're getting boost on the income tracks. I also like how I've got a little engine here that's going to help me go going further down the explore track, which is cool. And my almost favorite part of the game is the synergy tokens. I just love those things, man, because it's fun to think through your hand and go, okay, like right now I really would like to have gotten an anchor so that I could get 2 more up on that track. I think that's really, really cool. So trying to balance which cards do I want the actions for. Sometimes I just mostly want the synergy token to get more bonuses off other cards I have in my tableau. I think that it's just a brilliant little piece to it. So, wow, I kind of talked a lot, but I like that. And then finally, and I don't know if I've already said finally, but I love the pacing of the game. That you have to pay attention to what the opponents are doing because the round ends as soon as your opponent hits that last spot. So, especially playing with more players, someone could kind of zoom through there and it could really mess up what you're doing.
Yeah.
That was a mouthful.
I'm going to piggyback. There are a couple more things that I did want to talk about. You mentioned the assistants. The card play in general, I really love multi-use cards in general. That's just something that I enjoy. But the unique part for me, I think those tokens are kind of cool, but the most unique part of this game for me, I think, is placing those assistants out on the board for those actions that you were talking about. I think that's such a cool idea because John's already mentioned it, but you're creating an engine, but you're also creating new worker placement spots that are only there for you, which I think that's fantastic. I love that. So I will say, you love the influence track. It's not my favorite because I think with this game, I love the fact that there's lots of different ways to get points. These crown cards, you mentioned that at the end of the video, but we didn't really talk about how important those are. You can get a lot of points there. But I do think you cannot ignore this influence track at all. You're going to potentially get a lot of points at the end of the game. And for me, that's kind of a fault because it seems like it's almost too powerful for me. It is what it is because you have to do this. But because it's a game that you get points in so many different ways, I kind of wish this wasn't, and again, this is for me, I wish this wasn't as powerful as what it is.
In a sense, I'm guessing that you wish that you didn't have to do this.
Correct.
You like how there's other ways to score points. If you ignore this, I could ignore those and potentially still win the game.
That would be a challenge because those are a lot of points too.
If your opponents cared about it.
Right.
Now, if they didn't, then it would be different.
Right. But there's different places that you can ignore, but I feel like the influence track is something that you cannot ignore. So
it'd be tough.
But again, that's a personal preference, and it definitely doesn't ruin the game because I still really enjoy the game and you love it. Yeah. So let's go to our final ratings on the game then.
Yes, sir. You want me to go first?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So I mentioned all the things that I like. I like how there's so many different ways to score points. I like how, as Dean said, the assistants go out on the board, so you're getting these new spots, these new worker placement spots to go to and to get those actions. I love the engine building aspect, and most of all, I love the card play in this game. The synergy tokens, getting the right cards in your tableau to be able to make more powerful actions, to be able to get income bonuses, to be able to get victory point bonuses at the end of each round. I like all of that. It is so fun. So I'm going to give this now. I'm going to give this 9 out of 10 with an upside. Me going like this, I think this could go higher than that. The more I play it, the more I like this game. But I'm still going to be solid and stick with 9 out of 10. This is one of my top games of the year for sure. I absolutely love this game. Fister crushed it.
Yep, I agree with that. And again, this is on the higher end of the weightiness of games that I enjoy, but I really, really enjoy this one as well. Not quite as much as John. I'm going to give it an 8.5, but the card play, the upgrades, all of it is just so good because you can focus on so many different areas. You can build such a different engine than each other and still do really well. Again, you still have to focus on the influence track, I think, but I really enjoy this game quite a bit. The thing is, we didn't even really talk about, but the variability is just absolutely through the roof, even without the story cards. But then you throw in the story cards, and you're going to be adding new quests. You're going to be adding new cards, and you're just going to be adding new flavor to the game every time you play. So
even with these cards, when you set the game up, you got like 40 of the kind of like all the cards don't go into that.
Sure. Yeah.
So like that, you know, not only that, but these change out. So yeah, there's a lot of variability.
So much variability in this game. So anyway. Really, really great game. We love this a lot. And this is going to be an 8.5 from me and a 9 from John. Why don't you tell people how they can get in touch with us?
All right, if you're enjoying our channel, we would love for you to subscribe. Even click on that bell for notifications to be notified when we come out with new videos. We're on Spotify and Instagram. Nope. We're on Spotify, iTunes.
We're also on Instagram.
We're on Instagram, and on all of those, we have a podcast. Just search Meepletown Games. You can listen to our podcast. We just did a more in-depth review on the podcast, probably than we did right here. We are on Instagram, as I mentioned prior, Facebook, and Twitter. Those are all at Meepletown Games. And finally, we are board game. Wait, nope. We're MeepletownGames.com if you want to go check out our website. I've been failing to say that. And finally, we are Board Game Geek Guild 3407.
Thanks for coming down to Meepletown.
Thanks for joining us, and be sure to follow us on Twitter at Meepletown Games and connect with us on the Meepletown Guild, Guild number 3407, at BoardGameGeek.com, and also subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel. And until next time, thanks for coming down to Meepletown.